In this video, I'm going to show how you can build a full month's worth of food supply for a family of 4 in just one day and for half the cost. And we're not talking about a bare bones diet either. We're adding variety, keeping it healthy and cheap. I'll show you the full shopping list, the meal plan, and my initial total cost revealed at the end. Let's get started.
The Ready Life. Into the country.
Hey, it's Lisa with The Ready Life, where we help you become more independent for your food, heat, water, and power, and much more. The first step in building a 1-month food supply is choosing meals your family actually eats. A lot of people make the mistake of stockpiling food that they don't usually cook and it goes to waste. I have a list here of meals that we personally enjoy, and I've picked the ones that are less perishable to add to my stockpile. Okay, so here are some of my favorite meals: pancakes and eggs, granola, cooked cereal, pasta and sauce, rice and beans, potato soup, lentil soup, vegetable soup, mac and cheese, which we actually make the cheese from potatoes and carrots, both of which I have on my shopping list, smoothie and popcorn, and toast with peanut butter and fruit. Next, I made a quick menu using these meals. If you have the time, try eating through the menu just to make sure you know how much food your family actually eats. I overestimated how much my family ate the first time I did this. This can save you a lot of money in the long run too. So now's the fun part. Let's create our shopping list. I have mine all worked out here. While you're shopping, you'll want to consider more shelf-stable options. Personally, I'm pretty health conscious, and that tends to increase the cost. But you can keep the cost even lower than I did by going with cheaper options that might not be quite as healthy. I wanted a menu and food items that I could easily add to my food stockpile so I could feel confident feeding my family a more nutritious diet. So, let's go through my shopping list. Okay, first on my list here, I have oats. I've got my oats here in a glass jar already. Interestingly, these glass jars are not terribly expensive and they're a great way to store your food. So you'll find that a lot of my food, when I get home, I just dump them straight into my storage containers. There's a lot of different options you can look for, and we don't have time to talk about that here. But the next thing on my list is flour, and I've got 10 pounds of flour. I put some already in here, but I prefer the Wheat Montana flour, and so that's the one that I get. It's a little more expensive. You can get much cheaper if you go with just the standard flour at the store. Okay, also, the flour is for making meals with bread. I have yeast, so I can make loaves of bread. And you can get them in little small 4-ounce jars at the local grocery store. Next on my list, we have the baking powder. And I use baking powder for a number of different things. Using the items here I have on my counter, I can make pancakes or muffins. So I like to make sure I have some baking powder on hand. So I included that in my list. Also, eggs. They're a great source of protein and loaded with nutrition. So I have eggs. We actually have our own chickens. So we collect our eggs every day. But if you don't have chickens, be sure and get eggs. I like to have about 4 dozen on hand. Also, another item that I have on my list is coconut milk. Coconut milk, I use it a lot in a variety of different recipes. My smoothies, I use the coconut milk in that. We make chia puddings sometimes, but coconut milk is very healthy and nutritious and adds a lot of fat and protein to the diet, which is important. Also, we use almonds. So I have that on my list. We use it to make our nut milk, which we use for our breakfast cereals. We have our sugar, and you can buy it in bulk, but for 4 pounds of sugar, it was pretty inexpensive at the grocery store. Butternut squash. You might not think of this as a great long-term food storage option, but it is. This butternut squash lasts for a long time, so it's a wonderful item. Any of your hard winter squashes are great to include in your month-long food storage plan. So I personally prefer the butternut, so that's why we have that one here. We've got onions, because you need onions in everything. And then carrots. We've got 4 pounds of carrots here, and carrots store really well in the refrigerator. We have cabbage. I just have 2 of my heads here on the counter. We have more in the fridge, but 4 heads of cabbage, and they last forever in the fridge. Or if you've got a cool room or a basement, they'll store really well for a long time. Okay, another item on my list is potatoes. Potatoes store really easily, and you can get a large quantity of them and stash them in a cool, dark place, and they'll last for a good while. So I've got 20 pounds of potatoes. Then sunflower seeds. Okay, I love sunflower seeds because they are so rich in nutrients and fat and protein. So we use a lot of sunflower seeds. You can sprinkle them on salads, or I throw them into smoothies. And in this home, we live on granola. So sunflower seeds go into the granola along with all the other items. Okay, frozen fruit. Fruit is necessarily very perishable, so it's harder to store fruit long term. Apples you can store for a while, but my family really likes blueberries and strawberries and mango. They go great in smoothies, which we have a lot of smoothies around this house. So I have on my list about 15 to 20 pounds of frozen fruit that I just keep on hand. The kids will grab a handful and throw it on their cereal in the morning for breakfast or on their granola. So having frozen fruit around really helps. It'll last in your freezer for a good long time. Oh, yes, we've got peanut butter. Of course, that's very nutritious and high in protein. We also I like to use apple cider vinegar for a number of things. It's great for making salad dressings. You can use it making a coleslaw. Okay, next, garlic powder, or you can just do bulbs of garlic. Whichever one is easier for you. I have a jar of garlic powder here that I use, and we love garlic around here. So, okay, coconut oil. Olive oil is really expensive right now, but coconut oil is pretty inexpensive, and you can use it in all the same ways that you use olive oil. Just melt it slightly. I put it in a pot of warm water and just let it sit for a little bit, and then it just melts, and then you can use it in any of the recipes that you would normally use olive oil or any other cooking oils. I have my coconut oil, and again, I put it in my jar here at home because I like to get it out of plastic. Salt. That's the next thing. You need salt. And a lot of people just have a small salt shaker worth of salt at home. But when you're talking about food storage, you need to make sure you have enough salt on hand. So I like to have about a quart of salt or more for a month's supply. That actually lasts a little longer than a month, which is fine. But that would probably be about 2 of the larger containers at the store. Canned tomatoes are great because you can throw them. We eat a lot of soup here, so you can throw it into a lentil soup or into a pinto soup to make chili. You can throw tomatoes into a vegetable soup, use them to make pizza. There's so many things you can do with the items that I have here, but tomatoes is kind of a staple. So I like to have lots of canned tomatoes on hand, and I have here about 24 cans of tomatoes. I like the diced tomatoes, but you might like the crushed better. Go with what your family prefers. All right, lentils. Where are my lentils? Oh, here they are, front and center. Of course. I like red lentils, but you can get the regular brown lentils, and these are highly nutritious. They have a lot of holding power, gives you lots of good energy. So I would definitely include lentils in your food storage plan or in your diet in general, really. After lentils, of course, pasta. Who can live without pasta, right? So you want to make sure you've got a good supply of pasta, and depending upon how much your family eats. But for us, 1 pound of pasta is with 1 can of pasta sauce, here it is. Here's my pasta sauce. That makes a nice big meal for my family. Rice, we've got our rice here. And rice, of course, is really great paired with so many different things. You can make a curry sauce with the coconut milk and the carrots and potatoes and put that over top of the rice. Or you can just do rice and beans, which is one of my family favorite meals. So we use a lot of rice. And then we have our beans. Something, a little secret. This is my beans. I have here on my list for 1 month's supply for my family. We have about 16 pounds of beans. And this is just a reused bucket. Now, reused buckets are really nice because you can get them for pretty inexpensively. If you go to your local grocery store, usually there's a deli or maybe a bakery there at the store. They get a lot of their food in bulk that they use to make their deli items. And you can ask if they sell those buckets, those leftover buckets that they normally would just throw out. Sometimes they'll just give them to you. Sometimes they'll just charge a few dollars for buckets. So I love to go and get buckets. That way it's inexpensive, and then you can store your beans and your rice in buckets like that. 2 more things on my list here. I have popcorn, because when we do smoothies, we like to do popcorn, and the popcorn is hiding on me. Where did it go? Oh, it's way over here in the corner. That's why I missed it. All right, I've got popcorn because popcorn pairs beautifully with smoothies for supper or for breakfast or for a quick snack. So I like to keep popcorn around. And then last but not least, we're a raisin family. We like having raisins. So on our granola or our cereal in the mornings, I like to have raisins on hand. So that is my shopping list for you to see for my month's food supply. I priced all these items using Walmart's online prices, and if you were to get this, here's what it would look like at checkout. The total cost for this entire 1 month food supply came out to just $400. That means we're feeding a family of 4 for just $100 per person per month. If you break that down farther, that's just a little more than $1 per person per meal, which is crazy cheap. For an entire month's worth of food, including proteins, grains, healthy fats, and produce, that's an incredible deal. But the key is having a plan that works for your family and doesn't waste time and money on food you won't actually eat. And to make this even easier, we've got a free tool for you. It's a food storage calculator that we personally use, and it helps you plan exactly what your family needs. Just visit thereadylife.com/food plan to get it completely free. The food storage planner starts with a simple weekly menu, meals that your family actually enjoys. You plug those in along with your recipes, and the calculator totals the amount of ingredients for you, combines them across the meals, and even gives you a complete shopping list. Want to stretch it out for 3 months or even a whole year's worth of food? It's all in there for you. This tool takes the guesswork out of food storage and helps you build a custom plan faster, easier, and without wasting money. And it's completely free. Just go to thereadylife.com/food plan to get instant access and start building your plan today. Because honestly, the best time to prepare is before you need it.